Hey, thanks for joining. Today, I'll show you how Conic can be used to prepare BIM models for tendering phase and also generate quantity takeoffs from them. When you receive a BIM model, often you'll need to make some minor modifications to the model itself. Whether it be design changes or other small modifications, we got you covered. For instance, let's say I need to move this door slightly because the design has changed, or I need to replace some materials of some existing objects. For instance, let's select these insulation layers here and let's just replace them with some other insulation material. For example, this one. Or perhaps I want to use Conic to actually increase the level of detail of the model so I can create a more accurate quantity takeoff. For example, let me add some finishing layers to some of the rooms. I will use some plaster with a certain thickness, and I can just apply this plaster to, let's say, this wall here, or actually I can apply this plaster to the rest of the walls in this room, or to other rooms as well. Once you've prepared the model and you've made the necessary modifications, you can calculate some quantities and actually generate a report from the model. Typically, you'll use the report panel for that. So the report panel can be structured in any way you want it. In this case, I have structured it to just group everything by physical material and simply show me the quantities per material. So for example, I can see all the materials used in my model, and I can see per material their quantities. So for example, for these gypsum blocks, I can see that there's a 3,471 square meters net area of gypsum block. Or for example, for this plaster, I can see there's close to 6,000 square meters net area of plaster. If I want some visual feedback as to what is what, I can select one or more rows and colorize them. It will temporarily turn all of the other entities transparent, so you have a clear view of what these objects are. Or I can choose to just colorize everything, or a subset of my materials, for example, all of these concrete objects. I can change the actual measurement I want to show. So there's a couple of predefined measurement types like net area, gross area, volume, length, and so on. If I want some visual feedback as to how a certain measurement is actually calculated, I can always select one or more objects, for instance these facing bricks of these two walls here, and use the actual measure tool to do a quick point measure. For example, if I want to know the net area of these two outer layers of these two walls, it's about 41.75 square meters, and I have some visual feedback how this is actually calculated, how these openings are not calculated within this net area and so on. So that's an easy and fast way to get accurate quantities out of your model. Of course, sometimes you'll want a more structured approach, and that's actually what I'm going to cover in the next video, where we'll talk about classification systems and linked schedules. Be sure to check it out. Thanks.